Hi, thank you for viewing this video. Today I'm going to do an interview on attributes of military children. I have a military child here with me. His name's Angel, and he's going to answer some of these questions that I have. Hi, Angel.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So I have a couple questions, and if you could answer them to the best of ability, that would be great. So the first question is, when did you become a military child?
So I became a military child around the age of 12. I was adopted by two military parents, and ever since then I've been a military child.
So you had dual military parents.
Yeah, I did have dual military parents, so both of them were in the army together.
Okay, were they active duty or reserve or National Guard?
They were active duty, so they were gone 5 days a week.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, how has being a military child has impacted your life?
So, being a military child has impacted my life very much. I would say coming from a low income family is where I came from. It has really opened my cultural awareness of society and just like the world, and has made me see different people's perspectives in a way. So,
Okay, that's pretty interesting. What are some of the positive attributes that have come from being a military child that you've noticed?
being a military child, I would say some positive attributes would be um, being able to learn at a young age how to become an adult. When becoming a military child, you're given that responsibility, of if, especially if you're the oldest, no matter what, just being more responsible, being more mature in public. It gives you like the morals of becoming an adult in a way.
So, I'm assuming you were the oldest.
Yeah,
You were the oldest of how many kids?
three.
You were the oldest of three kids.
Hmm.
Okay, that could be pretty hard. Do you sometimes?
It was very hard, but I would say for each one of us, we learned a lot due to us moving across the country a lot and just being able to be open-minded about like different cultures and learning about different places around the world. It just has made a positive attribution to me as well, just because who I am today as an adult. I have so much maturity, so much respect for people when it comes to like being in public, being open minded, stuff like that.
So, from my understanding, one of the positive attributes you said is traveling and being able to see the world. What are some of the places you've seen?
So I come from a low income family in California. So when I was adopted by these military parents, I was moved to Alaska for a couple, like 6 months, and then from there, we went to Washington. I've been from Washington. We actually traveled from the lower 48, from Washington to California, and then across the United States. So I had the opportunity, unlike others, in our like world, obviously, to see so much out there. And then we lived in North Carolina for about 2 years, and then from there we moved back to Alaska. And even from there, as being a military child, I have the opportunity to travel around to different countries. Obviously, so far I've been to Greece due to like being able to like afford that and stuff like that.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you traveled across country. So you've seen the West Coast, and you've gone up and down the East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. And then on top of that, so you have traveling, you have being maturity, the responsibility, um, knowing how to present yourself in public, um, and respect for others, you
Mhm.
said. Okay. So, what are some of the negative attributes that has come from being a military child?
So the negative attributes of becoming a military child, I would say, is growing up too fast. I would say in a way, that responsibility has like so much of a toll. It makes you as a kid stress. Obviously, like you're in charge of so much. So throughout my life, I would say I have been really stressed just because like, oh, I know I have to get this done before my parents get home. Oh, I have to cook dinner. I have to clean and stuff like that. So being a child, obviously in the school system, and on top of that, having to do these more of adult things had put so much stress on myself as well.
So some of the negative attributes you would say would be just stress.
Mhm.
Okay, that's understandable. What is something that you wish people knew about military children, whether the other civilian kids or just adults in general?
Mhm. Um, so like in society today, obviously military children are kind of like called different terms, like military brides, spoiled, stuff like that. As military children, we actually go through a lot. Our parents are working, 40 hours a week. We barely see them time to time. Obviously, sometimes they miss holidays, sometimes they miss birthdays. Um, I don't know. I would say like for civilians to be military children, I would say like we go through a lot. I mean, obviously, military Army, Air Force, all of them, they all go through, things and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
PTSD, post traumatic stress, all that. But I would say as us children, we go through a lot of withdrawals. I mean, just like, not having not having a parent figure there, but having it there, just like not most of the time.
Right. So, are some of the things that you worry about by not having a parent figure there? Are you talking about when like they're deployed and not and worrying if they're coming home, or just them just being gone working all the time?
I would say both of them. Obviously, civilians don't understand like when our parents are deployed, we don't have that parent figure in our life for that like amount of months. So it just puts a toll on us, like like what we are supposed to do. Like obviously, like as growing up, you want your parents to be there, encouragement, stuff like that. But it brings like a toll, kind of a depression way, not like a full depression state of mind, but it kind of just hits you differently than other civilian kids.
It's understandable. um, what is the hardest thing that you had to endure as a military child?
So I would say the hardest thing I had to do as a military child was probably my parents being deployed for a amount of time because at that age I wasn't young to understand, like obviously what was going on, why they were leaving for so long. So being away from my parents kind of changed me in a way because not not having them as emotional support, like coming home and being like, oh my god, this is what I did in school today, and this and that. Like I had obviously other like my aunt, and grandma and stuff like that, but I didn't have my parents, obviously, which just I would say kind of hurt.
Do you feel on top of the hurt? Do you feel like it made you stronger at any point in time, or do you just feel that hurt?
I feel like it made me stronger as a person, obviously, because my parents are out there fighting for our country and stuff like that, and it made me kind of proud for them to like be out there, and doing this. Especially as kid, you really don't know what's going on, so you have to think positive about things. So like every time, I'd miss my parents, be like, it's for a good cause, good reason. Just have to think positive about it.
Okay. And what is the best memory you have of being a military child?
So the best memory of I have of being a military child would be the opportunity of traveling across country. So, coming from a low income family, and obviously a family that can't afford to travel, I was born and raised in California, so I was there my whole life. I've never actually been out of the county of LA. So, being adopted by a military family, the best memory would be being able to travel to Alaska for 6 months and then being able to drive across country. I would say it was very memorable and it was just nice, like being able to see different states and see how everything's ran differently and different cultural rules and stuff like that.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to add about being a military child?
Yeah, so I would just say that being a military child is difficult, but in a way it has its positive attributes to, being a child, like being a military child. Some people think negative about it, like, it's hard and, obviously it is hard and stuff like that. But being able to be a military child gives you the opportunities of many options that other people don't have in society. And it just like opens your life in a way.
Okay, so thank you for the interview. I really do appreciate it. And we got a lot out of your positive attributes, which was it made you strong. You were able to travel. It seems like you got some leadership skills, taking care of your siblings, responsibility, respect, appreciating the military and for what everyone does in the military. So that is nice. And we've also got those negative attributes of understanding that you did have like some sort of depression and just kind of loneliness, it seems. But thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.